right, let's go ahead and take a look at your workbook page. So our first four problems tell us to use a metric ruler to find the length. Use your ruler and then make sure you are using the side that says millimeters and centimeters. And make sure to pay close attention whether it's asking you to measure it in centimeters to the nearest centimeter, those would be your big numbers on the big lines, or if it's asking you to measure it to the nearest millimeter, the little lines. All right, so for number one, it is asking us to find it in millimeters. All right, so when I go to measure, I'm going to make sure that I line it up. Remember, not necessarily with the beginning of my ruler, not like this. I need to start at the very first line. All right, and I need to see where it goes to. Now, I notice that this goes right here to it. For me, it happens to hit right before the 3. So do I round that to 3 centimeters? No, because I'm supposed to be doing it in millimeters. So to do it in millimeters, remember, all I have to do is count by tens for the big numbers that it hits. So 10, 20, and then count up the little numbers, and that would give me 29 millimeters. So just like that. All right, let's look at number 2. This one is also asking us to do it in millimeters. Okay, so line up your ruler. All right, and so for me, I notice it passes the big 6, and it was 1, 2, 3, 4, does not quite hit the 5. So I'm going to call this at the 4. So how many millimeters is it? Well, if I'm at 6 centimeters, that would be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And then 4 little lines, that would be 64 millimeters. All right, now number 3, notice it's asking us to do it in centimeters. All right, so this one should be a little bit easier. All we have to do is go to the closest centimeter. So when I do that, for me, it lands right on the 12. So this would be 12 centimeters. How many millimeters would it be? It'd be 120 millimeters if we were doing millimeters, all right? All right, and number 4 also wants us to do this one in centimeters, so let's measure that. Make sure to line it up. And for me, that hits right here, right after the 10, so that's going to be 10 centimeters. The biggest thing to watch for as you do this is make sure you notice whether you're measuring in millimeters or centimeters, okay? It would have been really easy to put a 3 here because I was doing centimeters instead. So pay really, really close attention to what you're measuring in. All right, now number 5, it says write the length of measurement, millimeters, centimeters, or meters. Notice that none of these are capitalized. So the length of a shoe, is that most likely to be, once again, don't just think, oh, centimeters, millimeters, or meters, which is more likely. It has to be 200 of those units. Is it going to be 200 centimeters, 200 of my fingers? 200 meters from finger to finger on my arm? Definitely not that. Or is it going to be more likely to be 200 centimeters, those little tiny lines, 200 of the little tiny lines on my ruler? All right, it's going to be most likely 200 millimeters. Okay, 200 centimeters would be really, really long, okay? Because remember, there's 30 centimeters on a ruler. So most of you, your shoes are probably not bigger than this ruler, and they're definitely not bigger than multiple of these rulers. All right, how about number 6, the width of a dog pen? How wide would be like a dog pen that you would have in your yard to keep your dog in? 2 what? That would be 2 meters. All right, and then number 7, the length of a paper clip. All right, with that, so the length, how long it is. Is that most likely to be 3 centimeters, 3 millimeters, or 3 meters? Okay, if you need to, don't forget, pull out your ruler and look at 3 little lines to see if it's millimeters or 3 centimeters. That's more likely to be 3 centimeters. All right, and numbers 8 through 11, mark the better estimate. The length of a book, is that more likely to be 25 centimeters or 25 millimeters? Once again, look at your ruler if you need to. Book more likely to be 25 centimeters or 25 of those tiny little lines? Definitely 25 centimeters. The height of a door, 2 centimeters? Look at your ruler. Or 2 meters, which remember would be if I spread out my arms from fingertip to fingertip. much more likely to be 2 meters unless you are like a fairy. Then you might have a 2-centimeter door. Number 10, the length of a desk. More likely to be 60 centimeters or 60 millimeters. Look at your ruler. 60 millimeters, 60 of those little lines, or my ruler is 30 centimeters, or 2 rulers basically long. 60 centimeters. Okay, your ruler can be really helpful to use when you do these estimates. All right, and the next question there, the length of a room. Is that more likely to be 4 centimeters? I know you can't really see it here. 4 centimeters or 4 meters? 4 meters, I hope you put there. All right, for the bottom here, it says measure the sides of the shape in centimeters and then write an equation to find the perimeter. All right, so remember, perimeter is when we add up all the sides to see the amount or the length around the shape. So we need to take our, we need to make sure we're paying attention to our direction, centimeters or millimeters. Centimeters. All right, so let's go ahead and begin. Make sure to line your ruler up. So when I measure this side here, I have 6 centimeters. When I measure this side down here, I end up with 5 centimeters. And when I measure this up here, my ruler's not fitting here, I end up with 4 centimeters. All right, so to write an equation to figure out the perimeter, remember I add up all the sides. So I would need to say 6 plus 4 plus 5, what does that equal? 15, and don't forget your label, 15 centimeters. All right, so we're not gonna do number 13, but hopefully that at least gives you an idea of how to do the back of your page when you go to do it. All right, see you guys later.